You're listening to the True North Success Podcast. Real stories of personal, professional, and financial wins from Alberta's best. With your hosts, Gary Mah and Amy Kim.
Hey everybody, welcome to the show. Today my special guest is Captain Randy Polak. Captain Polak is a pilot with a major airline in Canada for over 24 years. It's my pleasure to have Captain Randy Polak on the show. Welcome to the show. So, Captain Randy, I gave a quick overview of what you do. Can you fill in the details of who you serve and how long you've been doing this for?
Yeah, sure, Gary. Thanks for inviting me on the show. It's my pleasure to come on today. I guess 42 years I've been flying airplanes. Started out in 1984. Lived in a small oil town in northern Alberta called Swan Hills, and I was working in the oil field there, so that's where I started my career, and just got into it from the goalie on my hockey team was a pilot, and I was a big fisherman, so I just got him to take me up in the plane because I was looking for a route into this lake to go fishing, and so we did that, and he let me fly the airplane, and he showed me some stuff, and I go, wow, that looks very challenging, so I thought it'd be something to explore, and I did, and I got into it, and got hooked on it. Like a lot of aviation pilots will say, flying's in their blood, so it gets in your blood and you just keep doing it. So I started a private pilots in Swan Hills and a little just west of Edmonton, Villeneuve Airport. It's a big training. To this day, it's still a big training airport. So I started my private commercial there and then moved into downtown Edmonton, the city center airport, which is no longer there. And finished up with my multi-IFR and so I could fly at night and fly in bad weather. And went on to be a flight instructor up there. That was kind of my first foray into aviation as a job as a flight instructor. Nice.
So you've been doing it for 42 years.
Flying airplanes, yeah, not for 42 years.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm over just 35 years, I think, flying for a living. So
okay.
Yeah, it started out as a flight instructor and then a charter pilot, which means you just, when the phone rings at your company and somebody wants to take an airplane somewhere with their people, you do it. So that's charter flying. And then from there, I progressed into corporate flying. So I ended up flying for a corporation out of Edmonton that has their own corporate jet. So we got to fly their executives around, their people around their system. And then from there, I just moved into airlines. So currently fly for a major airline. So I'm for 787 Dreamliner captain for a major airline in Canada now. So that's what I've been doing for the last number of years.
So is it a pretty, quote, glamorous position or
Well, it is. In this company, that airplane is an amazing airplane. The technology in 787 Dreamliners is amazing. So it's a privilege I get to fly that airplane because it's such a advanced in aviation and airplanes. So it's great to fly that. And the routes, the overseas routes in Asia and Europe is a nice place to fly also. So
nice. What do you think really kind of sets you apart from the competition, type of thing? Like what comes easy to you that others might find challenging in this type of career?
I guess I guess in aviation, a lot of people when they get into it, it's a lot of work. So you really got to focus. And you got to spend a lot of work, and you got to your instructor's not going to teach you everything. So there's a lot of reading that you have to do yourself, and there's a lot of rules and regulations. It's a very regulated industry, so there's a lot of stuff you got to read yourself to get through it, and always be prepared for it. So some people, they maybe just don't want to do that commitment, and they find it's too much work. But it is a big commitment financially also. Nowadays, I don't even know what it would cost you. Probably $100,000 to get all your licenses. So it's pretty expensive. So.
Right. So you need to do a lot of training and practicing through flying and things like that, and that really adds up.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because Transport Canada sets regulations how many hours you need to acquire that license. So there's a dollar figure attached to every one of those hours, and a flight school. Yeah. So that just the next license just keeps adding up and adding up. So I think perseverance and sticking with it, and is what makes us pilots successful.
Right. What kind of tips or suggestions would you give someone who wants to be more successful like you are?
Well, for young pilots who want to start out nowadays, it's been the last 7 8 years. It's a pretty good time in aviation right now. They've been slowed down a little bit here this year, but with some of the stuff going on in the States and the flights. But when airlines hire, everybody hires and everybody moves up. So for these young guys coming in, they can get their hours and they can get a pretty decent job in a very low time. Like me in 1984, I couldn't find a job. Like it was very hard into the 90s, late 80s, early 90s to find a good job. But nowadays, it's pretty easy to walk into a good job. So if these people want to go out and get their licenses, build up some time, they can get on with an airline at very low time. So it's really changed here in the last few years. So.
Right. What's one of the biggest challenges that you've had to overcome in your career, and how were you able to turn that into a positive?
Oh, I guess. Well, as far as the challenge, I think I probably back in my days when I was a flight instructor.
Yeah.
I was out with a student, and the challenge was controlling that airplane like you do most days. But we had a failure of the seat mechanism when I was flying. I was demonstrating a maneuver, which is where you basically stall the airplane and then you put it into a spin. So it's like a corkscrew towards the earth. You're going down, and then you have to recover from that. And that was a mandatory thing we had to teach. But with the seat mechanism failure, I couldn't control the airplane. So we were heading for the ground, and I could not control the airplane. I didn't know what was wrong with the airplane, and my life was flashing before my eyes. And then I just tried one last thing. I kind of lunged ahead and broke the stall of the airplane and came out of that maneuver. So I guess what challenge there going forward is like you kind of got to keep your wits about you and keep your mind into the game, so to speak, and it saved me. So saved my life.
Wow.
In case, so.
That must have been quite an experience to go through. I mean, to kind of go through that and then still be able to come out of it and talk about it. Like, yeah, that must have been, I don't know if it's traumatic, but it would have been quite an interesting experience.
Yeah, it was traumatic for sure, and I think my heart rate probably came down about 2 hours later from 200 beats per minute. But yeah. So yeah, it was an interesting experience. It's just it's just and I've known people in the industry that the same thing has happened to them basically in different forms, but they never made it through. So
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
So that must have built up more character through that experience for sure, right?
Yes, yeah, I definitely did. I appreciate the airplanes you're flying more and the maneuvers that we had to do to train students to go through to be private pilots at that time. So yeah, so you have a lot of respect for the airplane and what it can do and what it can't do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, with some of the larger planes, have you ever gotten into a situation, like a serious situation at all?
Not really. No, it just that was the one and only many years ago, and turbulence. You see things people talking about climate change is causing more turbulence with the jet stream and stuff. So you'll get bumps, and that's a bit of a concern. That's probably the biggest concern I fly day to day. The planes are very very solid, very well maintained. So plane malfunctions are very very rare, but turbulence is a big one, and people do get hurt in turbulence. So that's
Okay.
kind of a big day to day stuff, but. For the most part, yeah, we're very prepared as professional pilots. We're prepared in advance for those flights that we do overseas and even domestically. And we look at weather charts and we just plan it the best we can. So,
Right on, right on. So it sounds like things are going really well for you, and a lot of airline professionals looking towards the future at how they can create income outside of their business or even increase to replace their current active income. What are your thoughts about this?
well, I think I'm in the twilight of my career, so I'm retiring soon. So yeah, I think I'm going in retirement like anybody. You need something to do. You need a hobby to do, and currently what I've done, I'm doing a little background acting on some of the movie sets out here in BC. So there's a lot of motion pictures out in BC and Alberta being filmed. So a little hobby, and I do play a lot of sports and stuff. So I think and probably I'll probably get back into aviation some form, give back somehow.
Right.
Once I figure out how to do it in the future, but or what I want to do. So yeah, I think you have to like anybody, you gotta got to have something to do when you retire.
Yeah. As we're wrapping up our interview, what kind of exciting plans do you have in the works in the next 6 to 12 months?
Exciting plans? I don't know. Well, I'll just pursue this background stuff, and maybe
Right.
get some acting, get a few words in some motion pictures, and just look forward to what I'm going to do. And I really want to give back to aviation. So whether that's maybe teaching at one of the college, some ground school, or one of the flight schools, give back some of my knowledge I have gained. So some of the stuff over the 42 years, it's I've seen a lot of neat things, and every day is different in aviation. So there's a lot of stories to be told. So I'd like to give back
Right on.
to the younger people coming in. So
Very cool. Captain Randy,
Yeah.
that wraps it up today. And thank you so much for your time today and sharing your thoughts and insights and tips with us. It was a real pleasure to have you on the show. And Captain Randy, if people want to connect with you, what should they do?
I could my email address.
Yeah.
If people like, some more information, it's basically inflight. So inflyte @gmail.com. So inflight@gmail.com. And if somebody has some questions, if I can help them out, certainly will.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Thanks very much, Gary.
Want to share your success story? Apply to be a guest at truenorthsuccessshow.com/guest. We'd love to hear from you.